I really wanted to talk to you this week because it's a difficult subject, this, for me as a white man to raise. But I saw this House Negro head of AFRICOM, a black African American, threaten to kill the great leader of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore. And it made me so mad, I reached out for Nico House for a point of view on it. Did you see it? And what do you think of it?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, let me say congratulations, George, on all the success that you've been having. It's well-deserved. I mean, from the guests to the topics that you cover, I feel like it's not really that many people giving so much diversity. And I know that Piers Morgan is trying his best to copy you, but, you know, it doesn't quite hit the same when you're not as dedicated to the truth as a presenter as you are. So let me just say congratulations on that. And yeah, absolutely. I saw Lingley's comments about Ibrahim, how he's supposedly using the gold reserves to provide his own private security. And let me just say, first of all, that's not true. Second of all, if it was true, let's be honest, wouldn't it be somewhat justified considering the fact that they continue to make attempts on his life? I mean, they just recently made another failed attempt on his life. That's probably why they're upset and why they're now going out of their way to bring it to the attention of the national public to try and create this narrative, not unlike what we saw happen with Libya and Gaddafi, because Ibrahim has had that type of impact in West Africa when we're talking about not only uplifting Burkina Faso, but then uniting West African countries like Mali and Niger so that they can combat Western imperialism and the NATO allies that try to oppress them.
Well, that's right. His own bodyguards were offered $5 million to kill him. Now, it's no coincidence that the money involved was dollars. The United States and France are determined to do to Captain Traore what they did to so many others. In Burkina Faso, to the great Thomas Sankara, in the Congo, to the great Patrice Lumumba, and so many other leaders that they have dispensed with extreme prejudice because their own interests were threatened by an African leader who's actually governing in the interests of his own people and not of the empire.
I love Africa. It's so difficult to watch Ibrahim, I can't even say his name, Traore, in his speeches and not be absolutely like shaken to the core at the absolute dedication he has to his people. And of course, that's a threat. That's a threat to colonialists. That's a threat to the West. Having anyone who is able to gather people that were ultimately very divided in a very large continent is a threat. If you don't know, Ibrahim has already survived over a dozen assassination attempts. I think it was like 18 or something. And of course, France is threatening him. He has taken upon himself in Burkina Faso to build roads. He is putting in the infrastructure. He's taken it away from private companies to ensure there's no corruption through there. And they are on the ground building roads right now, building the infrastructure that Africa deserves. He has taken control over their own resources. And of course, this is a huge threat because these colonialist nations like France, they profit off of exploiting Africa, and they always have. A continent as rich in resources and culture like Africa, being independent and being free and being able to profit for its people, oh my God, now that's a whole new world.
Just need to do a quick update on this guy, Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Because you remember how yesterday I did a video on how the United States General Michael Langley was in Congress saying this?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this and I don't mind calling them out, but Capt Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime.
Many of you in that video were pointing out how he stuttered all the way through that sentence. I mean, he provided no evidence of what he was saying, did he? It was almost like he didn't really believe what he was saying. Well, the latest is just around about the same time as General Langley was saying that, and around about the same time as protests suddenly organically sprung up in France calling for Ibrahim Traore's arrest, there was yet another coup attempt foiled in Burkina Faso. A significant coup attempt targeting the leadership of Burkina Faso has been thwarted, according to an announcement by Security Minister Mahamadou Sanaa. Is it Sanaa or Sanaa on national television? Let me know in the comments below. The failed plot involves several active military personnel and former members of the armed forces. And as you can see there, it was planned for around April the 16th, just a few days before Langley was saying his script on the Senate floor. These Western nations, their leaders, are showing Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, and the sovereignty of these countries in Africa absolutely no respect whatsoever. Just listen to the way Macron talked about Ibrahim Traore just a few months ago and how Traore responded.
He also insulted all Africans.
I think they forgot to say thank you to us. It's not a big deal. It will come with time.
There is a part that caught my attention where he talked about ingratitude.
Gratitude, I am well aware, is a non-transmissible disease to humans.
He is human. Our ingratitude is not transmissible to him. This is how this gentleman sees Africa, sees Africans. We are not human. In his eyes, I think that if he is not an atheist and he prays, every morning when he wakes up and prays, he should also pray to the Africans. Because it is thanks to our ancestors that there is a France today. He should pray to us.
Yes, that's right. Macron, after decades of France basically stealing the reserves and the gold from Burkina Faso, they still hold some of Burkina Faso's gold, by the way, and won't give it back. He says that Burkina Faso and Ibrahim Traore should thank them for doing it. The chutzpah! Meanwhile, other nations, such as Russia, are building ties with Burkina Faso and showing Ibrahim Traore nothing but respect. This is him meeting Vladimir Putin in 2023, and since that meeting, Russia have reopened the embassy in Burkina Faso and the ties have become stronger and stronger. And look how the people of Burkina Faso reacted when they heard that Ibrahim Traore was coming back and landing back in the airport from that meeting. Watch this. Thousands of them went to meet him. Thousands. His people absolutely love him. As I explained in the video yesterday, it's no wonder when you consider the reforms that he's made to healthcare and education and how he's absolutely revolutionised the agricultural industry. You know, to my knowledge, just in the last 3 years alone, there has been at least 20 either coup attempts or assassination attempts that have failed in Burkina Faso and on this man's life. And as many people pointed out in the comments of my video yesterday, we, in the world, good people of this world, we need to protect this man at all costs.
Welcome back. It is one thing if you defend yourself as a black person, and it is completely a different thing when you have white people have the same point of view and defend you as a black person. Now, the continent of Africa has gone through a lot. Talk of colonialism, talk of slavery, and all these negative things that the continent of Africa has gone through. And even up until date, Africa still goes through majority of these things, but in a different way or in a different form. Neo-colonialism. So the issue of Captain Ibrahim Traore taking over his country in order to build it is something that is significant in this time and in this era. Now, Africa is a continent that has a lot of natural resources. Talk about the gold, the diamond, all these mineral resources are from Africa. The timber, the arable lands, and many other natural things that are found on the continent of Africa. Yet, ironically, it is the poorest continent in the world. How can this be possible? Now, whenever you mention this, a lot of people alluded to corruption, that the leaders of the African continent are corrupt. While to some extent that may hold a bit of truth, it is not entirely true that Africa is bridled with corruption, or Africa is poor because it is bridled with corruption alone. Majority of these natural resources are being siphoned by colonial masters. Take France, for instance, who has about 14 countries who are former colonies of France. And even as at now, they keep about 50% of their country's reserve in France. So in essence, they are just working to support the economy of France. Now let's turn our attention to General Michael Langley making the statement about Captain Ibrahim Traore that he is using the gold reserve to protect his junta regime. Come to think of it, this is never true. If we look at the developments or developmental projects that are going on in Burkina Faso, it is really great. A lot of people admire all these developmental progress that has been made in the country of Burkina Faso in terms of housing, factories, and many other things that he is providing for his people in the country of Burkina Faso. Even if it is true that he's using the gold reserve to protect his junta regime, he is a citizen of Burkina Faso. So what is the interest of the United States in Burkina Faso protecting their gold reserve? If their leader wants to use the gold reserve to his advantage, it is upon the people to rise up and prevent that from happening. It is not an external country or an external force who has to come in and intervene. That is not the real notion behind it. The real notion is there for everyone to know. It is obvious, just as the white man said in the video. Now, Africa has come to a point where it has to take advantage of its natural resources, and majority of these Western countries are not ready to let go for Africa to be completely free. Even though they give some form of political independence to us, they never give us economic independence. They want us to always be coming to their doorsteps and be pleading for aids and grants, which should not happen in this century and beyond. Leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traore need to be protected at all costs. And I really like the point of view of this white man who shared his views on what General Langley Michael said about Captain Ibrahim Traore. Now, it is very important for every African to stand up or rise to the occasion in order to defend the continent of Africa, so that Africa can also be respected among the human race. Let me know what you also think about all these in the comment section below. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and your family on other social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click also on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.